Coach Ben here, and welcome to the Benchcast. I'm sitting here with our good buddy Wheelz, not Larry Wheelz, but Nicky Wheelz, and we'll talk more about that.
The white wheels.
How he got his last name, White Wheels. So how we know each other for like 2 years, something like that. We go back a ways. So I just kind of wanted to shoot the shit with you today. I think we got a lot of good training stuff we're going to be able to talk about here today. You've made tremendous progress over the years. It's been a real pleasure watching you grow as a lifter. I remember the first time you came into the gym, and there's just this little guy who definitely wasn't as big as he is now. Little guy.
No.
Went over to the corner. He got his little gear on. He got his little elbow sleeve, whatever he's got. And I was going over to be nice, introduce myself and whatnot. And you joined in the group. I don't even think you were the biggest squatter in the group.
No, I was actually the worst, I think.
Yeah, you were one of the worst squatters in the group. I don't even remember what we were doing that day. There's another new guy. That was a booming Sunday. A lot of new people.
Yeah.
And there you were, little guy, squatting little weight.
2 weight classes below.
Squat's never really been your thing.
No, it's still not.
But, yeah, just the progress you've made from that time. And I remember, deadlifts too. I mean, when you started out in the gym, what were you deadlifting about? I don't even think we pushed 600. I just don't remember when 600s for reps was like a huge deal.
Well, 600 for reps was a huge deal. I just came off a meet when I started at the gym. Like, I competed in November, and then I started in January, and I pulled 630, I think, at that meet. That meet in November that I did, and that was like my third attempt, 630.
Yeah, I remember I'd always push you on the reps. He'd come into the gym, and Wheelz is from Staten Island, so what kind of drive is that? It's got to be like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
Yeah, no, it's about a little over like hour 15, and if there's traffic, like 2 hours, 2.5.
Yeah, the thing about New York is a 10-minute trip can quickly turn into an hour, 2 hour trip.
Yeah,
real fast. Very quickly.
Very quick.
Very quick. I have one of my online clients who he's coming by New York. And he was asking me how far. God damn it, we got mowers in the back. Shit happens. It's like the time we had FedEx come by. We actually had UPS came by and dropped off a package on air.
Really?
Yeah, he just came in. He didn't give a shit.
That's great.
Yeah, we got a mower. That happens. A lot of landscaping. But he wanted to come by. He was telling me. He was asking what the distance is from Manhattan over to here, and I was like, well, man, fella,
yeah,
could be a 30-minute drive, there's no traffic.
Could be like a 4-hour drive.
Quickly become a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what you're aiming at. But you came in on Sunday. Usually Sunday's a pretty dead time, though, traffic-wise, but
yeah.
You come in every Sunday. But you come in during the week, too, and you would do deadlifts with me on Thursday.
Yep.
Back when I was more heavily deadlifting, we already lost the live. What the hell?
We already lost the live. It's going
Instagram
in and out.
live's down. We got some kind of storm brewing. We got lawn masters going. This is a rocky start.
It is a shit show over
this
here.
This mic better hold up. All right, so you come down, you deadlift with me on Thursdays, and I remember you had what you planned to do, like what was scheduled to do on the program. And then we had what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And they were two different things. And I remember you're making very quick and steady progress. And I was like, man, you would actually take your 3-rep, and it would look so good. And it would be like a 50-pound 3-rep or something. And it would look so good, we were like, F it, just do more. And he would do another one.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. 600. So I remember, what was it? So you took 630 for 3 because that was your 1-rep at the time.
No, it was 645. I think I took because I pushed it even more a little bit after that.
Well, I think we originally hit 630
yeah.
for 3.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden 640 for something for 3 because we were just like, F it, do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really awesome watching you progress, and I know you were going to make progress because you didn't shy away from competition.
No.
And that's something that I just talked about in a recent video too. Like, you know who has potential by how they address competition and just that competitive spirit in them. Because you can't be a winner and push in this level, in this sport, without wanting to kick a little ass and really beat the shit out of yourself too and like do way better than you ever have. But I always know when there's a real talented lifter but they shy away from competition, it's a real heartbreaker. just because I know that they could become, but they just aren't going to work that to that capacity.
Yeah.
But you are someone that had the good potential and working to the capacity. Now you're really coming to fruition.
Yeah.
What's your lifts currently?
Currently, so last meet, I just came off a meet in May. So I did second attempt 645 squat. I failed my third. Third attempt 455 bench. Second attempt 750 deadlift, and I just missed 800 on my third.
Just missed.
Just
barely
missed.
Just missed it.
Just missed.
Which is very impressive. I mean, I remember when 700 was one of those milestone deadlifts.
Yep.
Now everyone seems to be hitting sevens, which is pretty crazy. And I mean, 800 is a whole new ballpark.
And I wasn't even supposed to take that either. I was supposed to take 775 on the third, but because I failed the third squat, I said fuck it, and I went for it because I was going for a total. And that was the first time I even tried to pick up 800 like straight. It was just kind of like
went really well.
Yeah.
And
So,
what was the total lap meet? This is the most recent one.
1850 is what I told him.
1850. So you're really knocking on the door soon of 2000.
Yep.
That's a real big milestone. How much you weighing in at?
That meet I weighed in 260, but I walk around usually like 265.
Even for a guy in the 275 pound class, 2000 total is a really
Oh yeah.
big deal. I know there's been more 2000 totals out there now, but a lot of heavy people doing them.
Yep.
You're not fat by any means. He's a
No.
lean 275.
Yeah, I'm the lighter of the 275s.
Yeah, he's a lighter. He's good muscle mass. Not a fat guy walking around 275. I'm the fat guy walking around 275, and I'm like 250. So I'm like bottom feeder. But yeah, that's really impressive. 2K total going for that next.
Yeah, it's
I'm
November.
sure that's coming by.
November is 2K.
Is that the next meet?
Yeah. I'm
November?
doing Hofstra the November 18th.
Okay. That was a cool venue because Larry just set that world record there.
Yep.
No one expected him to come and do a college gym and hit a world record.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy. That was just play toying for him.
Yeah.
But I know you were working security at the time. I remember when I met you, you're doing a security job.
Mm-hmm.
You still doing any of that, or are you totally different now?
Yeah, no, I stopped doing that. I was doing that in the meantime because I was interning at the gym. So I was just doing something like kind of, because like with that, it's like a really flexible schedule. So I kind of just like work like whenever.
Oh, the security thing?
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you, how's that playing into the training? I imagine being up all night.
Well,
As
that
usually.
Yeah, that because that was in Manhattan, so I had to take the bus in Manhattan every day, and it depends on like what times I work. So like a lot of times I got home really late too. So like yeah, that was a big factor into it
Where
as
were
well.
you working in Manhattan as a security job?
It was all over. Like I did mostly like movie premieres. So like basically
alright.
like any movie that comes out, like what they do is they screen movies for like about a month to like 2 months before they actually release, and then they
Yeah.
just screen it for like certain people, like certain celebrities and stuff that like come and see it. So like you do security for that, and like just it's like private, really private stuff.
Who's the most famous dude you seen? Anything good?
I've seen a couple famous guys. The most like famous thing I did was I escorted Kevin Bacon in and out of the theater.
Oh,
I was like his
alright.
little private. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, me and one other guy.
His life was in your hands.
Yeah, it was.
Did you enjoy that job?
It was fun. Yeah, it was easy. It wasn't hard. I mean, security's just boring because you just kind of stand there
Did you have to
around.
throw anyone out of a movie theater?
One guy, yeah, I threw out.
What the hell did he do?
He was trying to record because like with those like the screenings, like you're not allowed to record
Oh,
anything
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like piracy. And he just kept recording. I was like, man, you gotta stop recording. I was like, I warned him like 3 times, like, dude, stop. And he just kept doing it. So I just told him, I was like, oh, you gotta get out of here. And like, he didn't give me like any problems or anything, and he just got up and left.
Did you ever have to? You work any events where you had to toss a bunch of people? You
Well-
get into some good brawls?
Well, no, I haven't like actually fought in a long time. I mean, I've thrown people out. I used to manage a restaurant. So I managed a restaurant for 7 years. So I used to work a tiki bar, like a really busy tiki bar. And there was a lot of times where there was tons of fights where I had to throw people out. Like, oh, you guys give me problems. One guy actually pulled a knife on me one time when I was trying to kick him out,
Shit.
which was
What
exciting.
the hell happens then?
It was just
Take him out?
well, he was really drunk and he didn't want to pay his bill. So he was like he tried to leave. So like I blocked him in the doorway and like I pushed him back into the restaurant, into the tiki bar. And then he just went in his pocket and he just pulled out a knife. He's like, I'm not paying my bills. So like he kind of like tried coming at me with it, and I just kind of like backed up and like just kind of like kept distance from him. And then like one of the other like security guards came over and like he was just kind of like waving it at us, and then he ended up just running away. Like nothing happened from it. Like he was just waving it at us, and then one of his friends came. I was like, all right, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
That's pretty wild. Is that the most dangerous situation, probably?
Yeah, probably. Cause that was probably the most like dangerous like spot I was put in. Yeah, definitely.
Some crazy shit.
I feel like security is one of those powerlifting jobs. It's like you're either security, you're like either some kind of manual labor dude.
Yeah.
Where you're doing something with your hands. But
see, the problem with security is that, especially when you're a bigger guy, it's annoying because all these guys who are like drunk or whatever, they always try to like
pick a fight with
they always try to pick a fight with you to try to like prove themselves to you. It's so annoying.
They want to step up to the big man.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, big guy? Oh, I bet you're really tough, huh? Like, yeah. All right.
I always felt I got like a complex where I never feel big. I always feel super small, so I never felt like I fit the bill really well.
Yeah, no,
there's some big dudes.
It's just all the time. It's really annoying, honestly.
Yeah, that's just one of those jobs, though, I think powerlifters just gravitate to. I mean, Louis, we had him on the air, too. He was a security guy. Mm-hmm. He did security.
Well, because it's easy, because you're a big guy, so of course they're going to want you, you know. Any security company's going to want you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man, I don't even know who this guy is. He's just riding around. He's riding around multiple lawns, just cutting random people's lawns. I hope he comes over here and cuts my lawn.
I feel like he went over the same spot like 3 times already.
How much is this going to have up audio?
We'll see.
Everyone, please stick with us. I don't know what this guy's doing. Anyways, so you got last name Wheelz, last name Wheeler, Nick Wheeler.
Yep.
For everyone that's wondering what the hell his real name is, because we never say real names on it. And you got Larry Wheelz. So you got the battle of the wheels.
Yep.
All right. I remember when you came in, you were looking at the board. You know, obviously Larry's all plastered all over the board with all his records and whatnot. But you were eyeing that deadlift record, and you're like, I'm going to come for him. And, you know, obviously he's had all that success. I don't know, what is he at now, 880 or something?
Yeah, he pulled 881.
But just the way you wanted to, like, kick his ass, too. That's like calling out the top guy.
Oh yeah, I still want to kick his ass. I'm still coming for him.
Absolutely, but that's like that competitive edge I was talking about. Like not being afraid to just pick a number and just shoot for it. I was talking to a guy on Instagram. I'll share this. He trains with John Hack. He's an old school guy, so he's not into that shying away from competition stuff. We were talking about that, and he had a really cool story where. I think John Hack said something about, I'm going to beat you to 500, fella. And he kind of shook it off, walked away. And then his friend called him up. He was like super pissed because they're both old school guys. And he was like, I think he's disrespecting you with the gym. And they're like going back and forth with that. And then he said, you know what, you're right. And then they started battling the 500 pounds. And I'm sure at that point it kind of seemed like a little bit of a far shot within reach. But having that competitiveness of both of them.
Yep.
That guy, he hit 500.
Yeah.
And then soon after, John Hack hit 500. So if they didn't have that, I mean, I'm sure it wouldn't have, gotten it as quick as it did. Maybe they would have got there eventually, but I think competition's such a huge thing. It's like it's definitely the best training tool you have.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. What motivates me to go, because like there's so many guys who are just so much stronger than I am. Like it's not like I know I'm not nearly the strongest person like out there, but that's what it is. Like I hate the fact that there's so many people that are stronger than me, and I hate the fact that there's so many people who can lift more than me, and it just makes me it doesn't piss me off, not like a jealousy kind of way, but it pisses me off that I'm not I'm not working hard enough to be that strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not pissed off for greatness, you're okay with being mediocre.
Exactly.
That's true. Good quote. Quote of the day.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel the same way too. I mean, I'm looking at some of the bench guys I compete with, and I got certain guys in my head that I just want to kick their ass.
Yeah. In
a friendly way. I'm very, very friendly with them. Mm-hmm. It's just it really makes me mad that they win and I don't. The
way I see it is there's so many people pulling 900-pound deadlifts that there's no reason why I can't do it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so many people doing it. Why can't I pull 900? So there should be no reason why I don't. You know?
But I can't even imagine not having someone you want to kick their ass or something.
Yeah.
I tell you, you were with me when we were training for the Arnie. When I qualified for the first time, it was actually full power, and the last full power meet I did. But my buddy Gary Orr, I wanted to kick his ass because I saw that he was going to be in the 198s. I was finally yes, I'm going to have competition. and I wanted to kick his ass.
Yep, I remember that.
Like I'm very friendly with him today. He helped me out at last Arnold in the back. I bought his pre-workout. He got a great thing going. I'm always friendly with him when I see him, but at that time he was my competition, and I wanted to kick his ass.
Yeah.
But that drove me. You saw every time I come in, I'm gonna kick Gary's ass.
F Gary.
And that really drove me, especially deadlifts, because I was seeing when he was deadlifting, he was pulling like 6-something, low 6s, and I was like, shit, I'm not gonna miss up on the deadlift. So that was the best deadlift progress I ever made when I was training with you, because you were kicking my ass every time, and I wanted to kick your ass.
And that's when my bench blew up too, because you were kicking my ass on the bench at that time.
Yeah, you wanted to kick my ass.
Yeah.
And you have kicked my ass raw. You're up to like 4-something.
Yeah.
Mid-4s, high 4s.
Yeah, I got you on the raw now.
Yeah, not the shirt though.
No, not even close. Not even close.
But that was the best deadlift progress I ever made, and I think it was a lot because of the battles we were having. That specific day, I still tell everyone I did pull 630 with straps, a suit, and reverse bands, but I did pull it. And then after, I remember we battled it out on the rack pulls.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we just threw weight on. I felt like passing out after. I was really pushing it. I was like, damn it. I think I might have did 5 at first, and then you did a shit ton, and I just kept doing more, and then you put a bunch of plates on, and then I was finally like, I think I'm done.
It turned into like singles, then it turned to like 5s, and then it turned to 10s.
Yeah, and I remember King Alec was training with us too.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started out, he was kicking my ass at deadlifts, and then I was just so happy to be kicking his ass. But it's just a big ass kicking, and that's what like progressed us the best is when you have that goal in mind or that person you want to beat, and it really, really drives you. And I think that's such a powerful tool, and not a lot of people tap into or they shy away from.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of heartbreaking to see. No one really wants to get into the thick of it with people.
Yeah, they don't have that competitive edge.
I got called out 2 weeks ago. I'm in now.
Yeah?
By Joey.
Oh, really?
By JoJo.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
you got called out in the gym.
What do you call you out on?
I'm competing in November.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got a good little battle yourself.
Yeah.
It's right
That would
there,
be a
so
good one.
close.
Yeah, that'd be a great one. But see, that's what you need.
Yep.
That's
Need
going to
that.
push you, fella.
Ready to start deadlifting again.
I know, once I see those competitions and people driving each other, it's going to spark them to the next level.
Yep.
But I do that. You were real competitive with that. I remember you wanted to kick Wheelz' ass. I still think you got a chance in the deadlift. You never know.
I do. I'm creeping in. The day I pull 800, from there I know that like I'm gonna fly through the 8s. It's just like hitting the number 800 is like what's like the mental block. You know?
What's with you and deadlifting? Why you like deadlifting so much compared to other lifts? Where do you think it stems from?
I guess it's the easiest way to like
Get early success. And
Yeah, I mean, when I first started powerlifting, basically all I did was deadlift. I just deadlifted all the time. I went to the gym. I pretty much deadlifted 3 times a week, and it was pretty much like I deadlifted. Every time I went to the gym, I just deadlifted.
Is that conventional or sumo? You're sumo puller now, right?
Sumo, yeah. So when I first found out about powerlifting, I found out about Dan Green, and then I seen him pulling sumo, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Because conventional, every time I always tried to pull conventional, I just pulled my lower back every single time.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck
same
this.
here.
So I switched to sumo, and then like literally I was just doing it all the time. Like I was doing crazy shit too, like deficit banded like sumo. It was like all weird shit. And then and that was it. I just did it all the time, and it was just fun. Like I think it's like the best way to like let out controlled aggression. You know?
Yeah.
I could just get really angry and just take out all my frustration and lift something.
Say it again. I think that's very important. The aggressive component of it.
Yep.
Because a deadlift, unlike any other lift, and I say this all the time, you don't have an eccentric component to it.
No.
You know, the bench, you're taking it out.
Yep.
You get to feel it on the way down. Squat, you get to feel it on the way down. So if it's super heavy and you're like, oh shit, I might die.
Yeah.
You gotta tense up.
Yep.
But a deadlift, it's there on the floor.
It's either picking
All
it
of a
up or you're
sudden-
not.
Yeah, all of a sudden you gotta have all that tension just ready.
Yeah.
It's hard. You feel the weight when you unrack a squat.
Yeah.
And you have that chance to like, all right, I really need to tense up. But a deadlift, you just have to be there.
Yeah, because
All of a sudden.
a deadlift is more of like a split second like turn on switch. Like a squat, like you unrack your squat, you walk it out, like you're getting all tight, like you're trying to settle yourself, and then you set up, then you take a bunch of breaths, and then you squat.
Yeah.
Like same thing with the bench. You pull it out, you set yourself, you take a breath. Like deadlift, you hit it, and it's 1 second.
It's less opportunity to create that tension because
Yeah.
you need every muscle in your body
Yeah.
firing,
Yep.
which makes it pretty unique. And that aggressive component, you just can't go into a deadlift half-assed it. You
No.
got to be like freaking angry, ready to go. You got to explode into that weight.
Yep.
And I think that's why people that lift out of the most, they have such big sways in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're either on or you're off.
Yeah.
And I think that has a large thing to
yeah.
do with it, is the mentality you bring to that session.
Yeah.
Because you're not pulling 800 just half-assed, like,
No.
deadlift day.
I can't even explain to you the shit that goes on in my head before I try to pull something
Yeah.
like that. Like, it's just so much. It's like there's so much going on that like I don't even remember. Like I kind of like I black out in a sense, but like I'm thinking, but like I'm not. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Like probably real, like angry things.
Yeah, I think about all the
You gotta,
shit that's
like-
been pissing me off lately, and like all
Yeah.
the shit that
Deadlift gets real primal.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
And then the music choice.
Music
usually
choice,
sound
too.
Very angry.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you just, there has, and I always remember my best deadlifts too. It was just like some kind of fire. Like I just wanted to freaking explode into that weight. Like no other. Like especially, that's really the only lift I would have nose torque on, because of just the aggressiveness factor.
Yep.
The other lifts, squat, bench, especially bench, I always want to be very technical with what I do. So I don't really want to get too amped up like I do, but I don't. Like I could literally bench 700 something pounds like Britney Spears, which I have. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what's playing because I'm just in the zone technically. But for deadlift, even more than technique, which is very important, aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Man, I could squat the Jack Johnson all day, but when deadlifts come on, then I need something aggressive.
Yeah, that's
But
it.
But that's the thing with deadlifts, though. If you're gonna be angry, you have to learn how to control, because you could be angry and you could try to just angrily run at the bar and try to pick it up, but if you're not like controlled in some sort of way, you're not gonna pull it. You're just gonna be sloppy and you're gonna end up screwing yourself.
It's a balance.
It is a balance.
And I've seen people who get away with being aggressive and the technique is lacking.
Yeah.
And it's gonna come back and it's gonna bite them a bit.
Yeah.
Probably
Eventually, you hit a
something.
point where it just you plateau at some point.
Yeah, and I see that with lifters, and it's tough because they're so built around being aggressive. You just got to have a good balance, and that's what the best have. They have that balance of good technique, creating tension, and then having the aggressiveness to harness it.
That's kind of what happened to me before I started training with Gags. Is I was doing that. I was just lifting really with no technical side to it. It was just more or less just being really pissed off and just deadlifting. And I got into the sixes, and then like I hit a wall bad at around 630, 640. I hit a big wall, and then that's when like I really had to like start honing technique and stuff.
I remember you had the damnest time with the lockout
Yeah.
right near the end, like not even knee level, but I think even like right near the end you were having a hard time.
Yep. It's literally like the last split second of
Yeah,
the
it was
lift.
the worst.
Yeah, it is the worst.
I remember when the deadlifts meet, and I don't know if you were going near 7, something like that.
Yeah, 750 that
And you
meet.
had it like right near your hips,
Yep.
and you just started like convulsing and shit, and then
Yep.
that was the end of that.
Yep.
Yep.
That's got to be a heartbreaker.
Yeah, it is a heartbreaker. It's so annoying because I know exactly what I do wrong too, but it's just like in the moment, like when I'm lifting it, I get like so like I don't even know the word for it, but I'm so focused on just trying to like lock it out that I don't like think to do certain things.
Yeah.
So it's like little flaws that I mess up on that like I could have gotten it, but I just don't like think hard enough.
Like
So
those
what-
little cues, they just don't compute at
Yeah.
that time.
Yep. So instead of like pushing my hips through and like squeezing my ass, like I'll try to like throw myself backwards and like lock it out like that, and it ends up screwing me.
So what have you done in training, technique wise and training wise? Like how'd you overcome that a bit?
A lot of it was mobility. That was one of my biggest problems, that my hips still aren't even really that great, but a lot of it was mobility and just being able to like open my hips up. A lot of it was my glutes. My glutes were very weak for a long time. I've been doing a lot of stuff for that and just trying to activate them more, make them stronger so I can push them through.
Yeah.
And then just like literally just a lot of lightweight deadlifts and just like honing form nonstop. Just nonstop technique.
Yeah. That's
Nonstop.
two really big things. I'll see mobility wise, especially if a lifter can't get their knees out, then they end up knocking the bar forward most of the time, especially sumo. And also with the glutes too, I see lifters in training handling the lightweights. They aren't squeezing their glutes at the top. They're just kind of swaying back. You've
Yeah.
seen that all the time. They just go into a little extension with their lower back.
Yep.
And they really aren't squeezing their glutes at all.
Yep.
I mean, they're doing the pull, they're using their back, and then at the top, they're totally neglecting the biggest muscle in their body.
Yep.
And that's an opportune time to train it and really hold that weight in your glutes. But That's huge. Is training those because they never get trained. And then you get so strong, and then you're never training your glutes because they're really weak.
Yep.
And then you got a huge inefficiency there. And then you gotta like do glute bridges and all this other shit.
That was honestly the whole reason why I didn't lock out 800 is because my glutes weren't strong enough for me to in that moment activate them and like push them through enough.
Yeah.
And that was the whole reason why I didn't lock it out. So that's literally all I've been focusing on now is just making my ass so strong just so I can lock it out.
You gotta go on Instagram and you search fit chick.
Yeah.
And then you just DM them and be like, hey, how can I get nice ass?
How can I have an ass as big
works.
as yours?
Yes, and then send a peach because they like that.
Yeah.
So deadlift's definitely your lift. If you had to pick a second, what would your second be?
Bench, definitely.
Bench?
Yeah. Bench is actually slowly like getting as bench is slowly coming to a point where I like it as much as deadlifts now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah.
I know
You've been
how much
hanging
you
around
like
with a
deadlifts.
weird crowd.
Yeah.
You were actually in one of our videos early on. What were you doing at the time? It was like 380.
Yeah.
And we were talking about because you had a pretty good heave going on at the
Yeah.
time, and we were talking about keeping constant tension, how it's going to benefit you, and you were one of the typical. You sink it pretty quick, you let it sink in there, and then you try to do the heel drive and really pop that up.
Yep.
And we were going over how to create the constant tension, like you said, and then you started making some real good progress over time.
Yep.
And now, like from that video, that short clip we filmed, what you do now is totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's some of the things that you changed there?
Honestly, the biggest thing of everything was just learning how to use my lats. That was the main key to everything. I never used my lats before on the bench. And then, like, after all the stuff we've been working on, like all the stuff you were telling me, I finally learned how to use my lats, and it blew my bench up by like 50 pounds. It was unbelievable.
I always tell lifters that is the clicker from being a mediocre bencher to being a great bencher.
Absolutely.
I mean, you could be really, really strong, but once you get the lats into play and actually learn how to use them, and listen, most people say they know how to use their lats or they say they're engaging their back, but they don't. They aren't.
That's some shit.
They aren't. And I remember one time, it just pissed me on. I think it was like Greg Knuckles, a long time ago. He shared one study about bench press and how the lats aren't important. And it just pissed me off. It still pisses me off today. I don't know, for some reason, because I know the lats are like everything.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Like once you learn how to bench with your lats, that is the biggest game changer you'll ever do for your bench. No question in my mind. But it just pisses, like I'm getting fired up just thinking about this article. And I'm just so mad this study exists because it's going to steer people wrong because all those science people are going to bring up this study and it's total bullshit.
Yep.
And it's pissing me off right now. But listen, I'll tell you. Listen, I know how studies go down. You grab a bunch of random bullshit people, all right? You throw them on a bench. You say, go bench press. Not one of them knows anything about how to use their lats. Only elite benchers know how to use their lats, all right? They just took a bunch of people. They don't know what the hell's going on, all right? So, of course, you're not going to get EMG shit on the lats because they aren't using them.
No.
So it's just total bullshit. Anyone can know that.
Yeah.
It fires me up.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you touched in with your lats. There's a lot to it. Lowering into your lats, just everything. The takeout process needs to be done with them.
Yeah.
It's a totally different feel. And a lot of people say they know how, but they don't actually know how. They aren't really registering with that. But I'm sure that you have, because I can see you're controlled the set.
Yeah.
All right, and you have a long stroke.
Yeah.
It's not a short stroke, and you've been able to work up to the high fours like that, which is really impressive. In itself, I don't know how many long stroke dudes like that are benching near 5.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy.
So you can't be, and it comes down pretty slow. You can't be using your arms the whole time.
No.
You're gonna fatigue the shit out of them.
What happens eventually too is that you get like that. I get that crazy. If I'm not using my lats, I get that crazy pain in like the bottom of your bicep, like near your elbow, and it's just crippling.
Yeah, so you know how to just stay tight with the bar and then just catch with your back.
Yeah.
What cue maybe or what training exercise helped you the best with that?
Well, so
I know I have a couple favorites.
So what actually helped me a lot with that? So my problems I had with bench was I wasn't using my lats and my wrists and my elbows weren't stacked with each other. So that was the other thing too that you helped me a lot with. Was once I learned how to keep my wrists and everything in line with each other and like just drop straight down, I was able to create so much tension with everything. So more or less it was just a matter of me benching more. I started benching twice a week. And then it was just just doing it over and over again. Like I stopped going heavy for a while, and I would just stick with like 2 plates and just constantly keep doing it over and over and over again until I felt comfortable. Like even like all those little like exercises you put up to, like the, like, you know, that one you do with like the band over the top with the stick.
Reverse band.
That was like huge
Yeah, and
when I
that's what I
first.
say one of my favorites for learning.
Yeah, that was big for me
lats.
on getting how to use my lats. And then like once I did that for a while and I figured out how to use them, I was able to stop it and just, you know, stick with the bench. But that helped a lot, helped a whole lot.
Yeah, I like that reverse band bench.
Yeah.
Where you literally have the empty bar suspended in bands in a power rack above you. You grab the bar and you have to row it in. So you get your normal formation, you get your setup, and then you grab the bar and then you actually have to physically row the bar in.
Yep.
That is a great one. And that's something I took from Vinny DiZenzo. They actually called that the DiZenzo press or whatever the hell.
Oh, yeah?
DiZenzo row. Yeah, for a while. I think, you know, I don't know if that caught on, but some people call it that. But he's a great bencher. Did 900 pounds. I was there that meet. I competed in that meet. He was an animal in the back.
It's ridiculous.
And yeah, he went to 930 after. And that's kind of what got me into geared lifting. Because I remember him in the back using his shirt, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. He's just throwing his weight off boards like it's nothing. And I was like, holy shit, you can't even like touch that weight.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But yeah, that lift, the row there, and mind you too, he did that in a metal jack, and you know how much I hate metal jacks. Elvis knows, I say it all the time. I hate that shirt. If he was in an SDP, he would have did 1,000. But yeah, that row is excellent, and then bamboo bar.
Yeah, bamboo
That's
bar.
the first thing I bought when I got this place set up. I got the bamboo bar.
Yeah, bamboo bar was good when I was here using it. I mean, in the gym in Staten Island, I don't have access to one. But when I was using it in here, that helped a lot too, because I didn't realize how shaky I was using
Yes.
that.
Yeah, you could be benching 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter. But if you haven't touched a bamboo bar, and then all of a sudden you start, I imagine you pick it up quicker if you do know how to use your lats. But if you don't, you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Like we just got a new intern in, and he was messing around a bench one day, and I was like, "Hey, take this bamboo bar out. We're gonna give it a ride." And then I was talking about how to use your lats. I was like, "All right, we're gonna freaking take this bamboo bar for a ride." And then he was grabbing kettlebells, and at first you're not gonna need much. He's a 300 something pound bencher, mind you. I think he's starting to push 400.
Okay.
I think he's getting close to that. I forget where he's at, but he's a pretty strong bencher. And I told him, just grab the light ones at first. This shit's going to rock you. And then he grabbed the blue ones, or the yellow ones. They aren't very heavy. We threw them on the end. Actually, went up to the yellows. We threw them on the end, and I told everyone in the gym, I was like, hey, watch this, guys. So I had a little crowd going. I was like, watch this. And then he took it out, and then you can't see this in the camera, you can see, but it was like, he's going up and down. And then I just kind of laughed, and I was letting him ride it out a little bit. And then, like, he just threw it back.
He just
that
put
was
it back?
the end of it. Yeah, he just put it back. 'Cause it was going wild.
That's
and I knew
great.
it was going to happen. I've seen it enough times. Because he thought he was benching with his lats. He wasn't benching with his lats. But it was great. It was, then I was like, all right, we're going to the blues. We take it off. We put the blues on. And then, same thing. But he able to get 5.
Okay.
Whether he was, touching dick or touching chest, who knows? But he did 5. He did 5 again, and then I think the last one he finally did like 6 or something. But he learned that day. And that's all I got to say about that.
It humbles the shit. Yeah, it humbles the shit out of you, that bar.
Yeah, that's a great bar. And I remember I struggled yellows starting out. That was like enough for me to do reps with and really get a good shake. And then over the years, it's gotten really difficult for me to get a good stimulus with it. In a good way, like I still get a good amount out of the bamboo bar, but it's like at this point, I got to load the thing up with so much weight, I'm just going to have muscle failure.
Yeah.
Which is good, but I do it every week to keep up with it. It's a bar I do every single week. I make a point, no matter what, I do that bar every single week. And, I'm only benching like low 4s raw, but I'm getting like 300 something out of my shirt, and I feel pretty damn stable with 700 something pounds in my hand. But you have to have that kind of technique dialed in, the lats and the shoulder stability, and that bar is a huge testament to all what I've been able to do, holding that weight and whatnot. And, the guys that I'll compete with and at meets and stuff, they're easily doing like 500 something raw.
Yep.
But I'm hanging at low 400s still, just because of the techniques dialed in. The bamboo bar has been a great help.
Yeah.
been an excellent help, and I would recommend everyone. It's like $200-something bucks, but it's the best thing if you could give a shit about your bench and want to see it go somewhere. You're gonna get this bar. All right, what's a meat entry? Like $100 or something?
Yeah.
Skip 2 meets and get a bamboo bar. Use it every day, and you're good.
That's why I'm excited, because when I move to North Carolina, the gym I'm gonna be training at has one. So I'm gonna throw. I'll be able.
Bamboo bar?
Yeah, I'll be able to throw it into my training.
I tell you, every week.
The Duffalo too. I love the Duffalo. The Duffalo, I feel like that translates really good for me on the bench.
Yeah, Duffalo's another one I love, but I can't really do much now because just you have to have the mobility to do that. Like, you got to be able to safely get down. You can't go too heavy sometimes. I find a lot of people are getting some nasty pec strains and shit with that too. But I think it's an excellent bar if you can handle it. But I know you have to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Like, I usually tell people, if you can't touch that empty Duffalo bar to your chest without weight on it, then you probably should be careful with the thing.
And a good one for people who just don't have that is just a flat bench, feet up.
Yeah.
Get that extra range.
Absolutely.
Feet up, wide grip
Yep.
was a big thing I use a lot too. I do feet up work for like the first 4 or 5 weeks of the program. I love feet up.
Yeah, and that's you both touched on it. We talked about that in the past. How that was like the biggest thing that helped me was bringing my feet up, because if you see my bench, it's like a 2-inch stroke, if that. There's like nothing to it.
Being a little generous.
I can easily train and not really ever get a chest pump or not feel like I'm ever using muscles. It's really just kind of you pop it up and that's it. But it's also like a curse too, because then I never realized I should just like make shit way harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when I figured that out, I was stalled for a year, figured that out, and then I started making progress again. I just make shit as hard as possible.
Yeah.
I'm talking feet up, Duffalo, feet up, close grip, straight bar, all that shit that everyone doesn't want to do, but I had to really take a humble pie and just stick with it for a while. My feet up bench was so far removed from my regular bench.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm able to get them closer together.
Yeah, I just benched 4 or 5 of my feet up like a few weeks ago, and I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
That was like a big thing for me.
Yeah, and granted, a Larson press is probably a better test of true upper body strength, because you sometimes can kind of cheat the feet up by pushing a little bit, but that is upper body strength.
Yeah.
You can't use your lower body; it's all gone.
Yeah,
it's all gone. You're Paralympics at that point. You just lats and strength. Well, it's impressive what they do. They got no legs, and they're freaking yanking weight. 600 pounds, no legs.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn impressive.
Yep. It's like these like the guy. It's like the people with that, like that guy one leg monster. The guy
Yeah.
KT,
Yep.
he deadlifts over 630. He did in the cage. He's got one leg. Like
Yeah,
that's
nuts.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's nuts.
He's gonna deadlift 700
I
pounds
think
one
that
day with
shit's
one leg.
crazy. 600, no feet.
It's unbelievable.
That's some crazy shit. But if you can replicate that, imagine what you can do with your feet.
Yeah.
It's nuts, because leg drive's huge.
Yeah.
So feet up work has been tremendous. So I'm glad you mentioned that. That's something that I think is super valuable for everyone. And I'll say it time and time again at the gym. I'll try to get people to do feet up work. They ask me, feet up, feet down. I'm just like, feet up, feet up. If you ask me, it's feet up. All right. And I think, I stick 2 months feet up. Who drives me nuts? Volkswagen. All right. For his identity, I'm keeping his name to myself. But he would drive me nuts because he did what he would do what I did. He's got the setup. He's got a nice wide grip. He's cutting range. I think he's got a fantastic layout for a competition bench. But then I see him time and time again doing the same thing. Set up the same way and do the wide stuff. And it just drives me nuts because I've been there. And I know he can make way better, quicker progress if he just did feet up and just like close grip for like 2 months straight. And I told him 2 months straight. That's what I did for 2 months. It's boring as shit, but it gets you stronger. But I urge everyone to do that, especially if you're always doing full setup, wider grip. Bring the grip in close, feet up, challenge yourself. Do everything that's like really sucks. Do everything that you suck at. And you are going to make the best progress that you've ever made.
Yep. You know what's been helping me a lot too with the bench, like I've been doing a lot recently. Just straight up like chest pump shit. So like I like every day I go in the gym now, I do the pec deck. Whether I do 4 sets of it or 3 sets of it or whatever it is, I do the pec deck every single day. I do like cable, like one arm cable. Like I just mimic my bench stroke, one arm with like a cable. Just little stuff like that. Just like literally just getting my chest bigger and like a little bit stronger and just getting like more blood into it has made like all the difference.
Yeah, and chest work gets often neglected.
It does.
Because we're pressing, but then we build up all those other muscles. So then we just start pressing with those dominant muscles.
Yep.
And the chest never really gets any real love. So things like I love banded flies, cable flies,
even like incline, like just doing incline. You know?
Yeah, incline dumbbell, that fries my pecs up.
Yeah.
You know when you get a good titty pump.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It is nice.
Yeah, so it's important to do those moves too. And not just, because once you learn how to bench good, I think the primary things in action, and don't get me wrong, everything's working, but lats are huge, of course. They're not pressing anything, but they're stabilizing everything. And then triceps, I think, is very, very big. Because once you learn how to catch with your lats, it's just boom, tricep, pop off the chest. Everyone's a little different based on leverage, at least for me. That's important because I don't have to press too far. Yeah. You are going to be a little different because you're going to get a big chest stretch in the bottom.
That's why I'm trying to get my chest so big so I can try to cut some kind of range of motion.
Well, that too.
That's honestly why I'm doing it.
That too. Yeah. But it's also smart because in that bottom position, I mean, I do this with the close grip board press. I'll show people this. So I got my arm extended right now, and as I come down, at a certain point, my elbow stops flexing. And then eventually I'm tapping into my chest. I'm only getting movement at the shoulder. So, like for someone like you, like if I bench, like it's by the time my elbow closes, I'm already at the chest.
Yeah.
You know, but for someone like you who's got to go all that way, I mean, you're getting into your chest, like after midway, you're all in your chest. So it's important to have a really big chest. Yeah. So that is really valuable for you to do those exercises. So that's good.
Yeah,
good shit.
The main things that I really find important to work on with the bench is chest, your lats, triceps, and rear delts. I feel like rear delts are something that gets neglected when it comes to the bench.
Absolutely.
That's actually really important. So I do a lot of rear delt too.
Yeah, and I just been on a kind of a roll with how I've been putting out videos and kind of teaching upper back how to utilize that in the bench. And I think a lot of people are neglecting that, as in they're tight because you want to pretty much you're driving your hips to your shoulders and your shoulders to your hips, and everyone's bringing their hips to their shoulders, but no one's bringing their shoulders down to their hips, and that's upper back action. So you're getting a leg drive, you're jamming up your hips near your shoulders, but then everyone's neglecting what's going on in your upper back too. The lats are a big muscle. So you almost want to think of it as driving your shoulder blades down to your hips while you bench. Kind of that, if you were to puff your chest out using your back to do that, everyone's missing that action. Yep. I see it time and time again. And what that also solves is the elbow flare. Yeah. And everyone, I see a lot of the elbows, they're either not under the bar, so they're kind of dumping it a little bit, or they're flaring out very quick. And if they just were able to, boom, bring those shoulders down to their hips, now it's a whole different feeling, and then you do feel your lats a lot better. Yep. And it's almost harder to come down. Like here, I can come down easy. My chest kind of collapses from boom like that. Yeah. I can't even get my hands down to my chest. Yep. So that's a huge action a lot of people are missing. And it's something I've been training a lot too. If I did a flex for you, then you won't see any rear delts. Because it often gets neglected, right? Yeah. We don't want to train rear delts. We're thinking all these pressing muscles. But you press so much, you're not going to have anything back there. Yep. You're going to be overdeveloped. Front delt, my front delt, way overdeveloped. So every single bench session, pretty much every training session, I'm hitting rear delts, face pulls, and different stuff. And I was just talking to you the other day. I'm sick of having flat shoulders. Yeah. So I've been doing lateral raises every single session. Band lateral raises, dumbbells, cables, whatever. Yeah, I love the lateral raises. Try and get that cap. Yep. Gotta look good too. Gotta look the part. Gotta look like you lift a little bit. But I want to talk to you too about your goals in lifting. So you said you got November coming up. That's gonna be good in Hofstra. What are some of your goals, not only short term, and you want to get that 800 pull, but where do you want to end up? Like if you were going to retire, what do you want to be known as? What's some of these long-term goals? World records. That's my long-term goals. I want minimum. No matter what, I want the deadlift world record at 275. That's like I'm not gonna stop powerlifting until I hold the deadlift world record. The total, I'm in wraps now, so like the total I have to beat is Zahir. Zahir's total at 275 is like 24 something. He squatted 1,000 pounds. So it's a long shot and it's gonna be hard, but I'm not scared of it. So I am gonna go for the total world record and try to make as
far as a run at it as I can. But yeah, just I want world records. I want to be one of the strongest people that's ever powerlifted ever. So like
so you would rest easy if it all ended and you got your world record. Doesn't matter what period of time. You just want to get it once.
Sooner rather no, not once. I'd rather get it sooner rather than later, and I want to hold it. I want to get it. I want to hit such a big world record deadlift that it's not going to get touched for a long time. Like I want to hit something like deep in the 9s.
Okay.
That's like ultimate end goal.
I got you.
Yeah.
That's good. You got to have those goals that you wanna achieve something real good.
Yeah, I just want to keep going. Like I honestly, I love lifting so much. I'll never get bored of it. I'll never want to stop. The only time I'll ever stop is if, God forbid, like a really bad injury or something. But I don't even want to think about that. But that would be the only time I'd ever stop doing anything.
Well, how old are you now?
25.
Yeah, so you're a young chicken.
Yeah.
You're spring chicken.
Yeah. So
like a spring roll.
I got at least another 25 years, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, it's a long game. That's why I tell everyone, you got to think long term with this sport.
Yeah.
Definitely, because, not everyone is Larry Wheelz.
No.
He's got some kind of freak genetics. He
Yeah.
comes from some kind of weird island. They slayed it out there.
Yeah.
All right? We don't all come from weird islands.
Yeah.
So you got to think real long term. And you got to keep in perspective your age now, where you're at, and if you stay healthy, because that's the key. I mean,
Yeah.
one injury, that can really set you back, and it could be a really long crawl just to get back to it. But if you stay healthy, you do the right things, and that's why I tell everyone, like, be careful with what you're doing in training. Like, make sure you always prioritize health, because my biggest fear is probably a pec tear.
Yeah, that's one of mine too, yeah. Absolutely.
That would set me back big time.
Out of everyone I know who's gotten hurt and tore shit, like I know people have torn like quads and all sorts of things, and everyone always says like one of the worst is a pec tear. That's like one of the worst injuries to try to come back from.
Then it's in your head, and I think even that more, because I know a guy that had a pec tear, and he is all completely in his head. You don't even want to mention anymore. Yeah. And that's gotta freak you out, but that's tough to bounce back from.
Yeah. Even when I strained my pec, I got shit scared. Like, I was so nervous when I strained it, let alone even tearing it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't control what happens sometimes. What happens, but you can do your best to try to prevent it. Yeah. Being smart, not pushing too hard in training.
That's kind of what I'm trying to like focus on more now, because I'm getting to the point now where like the weights I'm handling are so high that like human bodies really aren't like meant for this shit. So yes. I'm getting to that point now where like the weight's so heavy that I really have to like just be careful about everything. I can't really fuck around anymore and like go off program and like try to take singles here and there like when I'm not peaked. Like it's getting to a point now where that has to come to an end. Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm focused on now, is just I've been started doing like yoga and stuff, just like a lot of mobility and like fixing things and like making sure like I'm not tight and like hurting all the time. Like I'm sick of like feeling uncomfortable, you know?
That's a great perspective to have, especially at a young age. Like not a lot of people think like that. You'd be surprised. There really isn't a lot of people that think like that will just keep pushing and hurt themselves. So you're already like way ahead of the pack. Yeah. I'm always thinking like the next thing I can improve in. Diet's been a really big thing for me earlier this year. I mean, I always had that attitude, just eat a bunch of shit, get big. But, I'd be bringing whole pizzas to the gym. I'd grab a Domino's on the way and I pound it. Yeah. I gained 30 pounds just to fit my shirt better.
Don't lie to the people. They were frozen pizzas.
Domino's. And then I'd be Burger King.
I remember
all the time.
when you used to bring Whoppers.
Whoppers all the time. People would be bringing me Whoppers. I had a thing going on.
People brought you coupon books and everything for Whoppers?
Yeah, everyone brought me Burger King.
At a point in time,
stuff.
you were basically living off of Whoppers and Monsters.
I was eating a lot of Burger King, and I was taking way too much caffeine, because the thing with that is that a meal like that shuts your shit down. You get tired, and then you need a Monster to get yourself back up. Yep. So...
and that's just baseline, and the coffee on top of it to get you amped up.
Yeah.
That's a pre-workout just to get you through the lift.
I had a buddy of mine help me out with nutrition, and at least got me into meal prepping, but then I'm like, wow, I can eat all these meals and not feel tired out there. It's pretty awesome. I can have a coffee and like feel it. So I started prepping all my stuff. I buy all my meats and I grill them up. The grill's been a huge help getting the house and having the grill. That makes me amped to actually cook and eat these things.
I love cooking on the grill. That's all I cook on.
Yeah, I mean, that changes everything. And then, the nutrition's been on point. Always can get better, adding veggie stuff, but from where I was, it's so much better, and that's really a huge thing. And then mobility stuff, I started doing like the DDP yoga program and just trying to be more centered on that. And getting manual therapy work's probably the next thing, because I don't do enough of that, and that's important too. Having someone that's professional at that, helping you out, like massage. Like I would pull my neck not too long ago, pull my neck just looking to the left. That ain't good. That ain't good. So I need someone to massage that shit. Do you get any of that work done?
No, nothing like that. I mostly do stuff on my own. I've gone to chiropractors. I went to 2 chiropractors like within the past year, and it was just basically like sucking copays out of me, and
it's tough.
Yeah, they weren't really doing much for me. I was getting like the scrapes, and like I would go in, he'd crack me in like a bunch of places, he'd scrape me, like do some like the electromagnetic like shit on like my knees and stuff. And like I really didn't feel like any sort of a difference from it.
See, it's tough to find a good person. That's kind of what's holding me back.
Yeah.
Is I really only want to go off of recommendation, because I don't want to waste time shooting around trying to find someone that's going to help me. So I want to find someone that people have been to and know that does a great job. So,
but it's expensive too. Like even
it gets expensive.
I found this guy. He's like a holistic. He's like all into like the holistic medicines and stuff. And he's a massage therapist. Like he's really good. He knows a lot of shit. But it was like, even with my insurance, it was like $75 every session. So now, like with guys like that, you have to go to them. Like you can't just go like once a week. You got to go at least like twice a week to really get something from it.
Thing.
Yeah. So then you're talking now almost $160 a week. Times
like
that by 4.
Investment every month,
Times that by 4. It's like $6 something a month just going and having some guy like do some shit to you. Like it gets expensive,
Yeah, and that's what's tough. I mean, if you were blessed to have big sponsorships and people that take care of you, then that's awesome. Yeah. And
like guys like Larry.
Like where Larry is now. He gets taken care of by a lot of people. So it's like his job now. It's just lifting.
Yeah, he's fortunate for that.
Yeah, so it's tough making that come up, and you're not quite there yet. You really got to kind of eat shit for a while. And it's just tough. Everything costs money.
I got a kid. I can't be spending like almost $700 a month on getting massages.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so... And the priorities are different. I always said this business handicaps me from actually getting where I want to go with the bench, because I care more about the coaching aspect and what's going on with this, that sometimes I'll almost like skip a training session just so I can get something done. But that's what I like to do. You know, it's not me right now. Like for you, getting that world record, but for me, it's not really like that. Like I'd like to hit 1,000, I always said, but I care more about what I'm doing with the business. Yeah. So I always say that really handicaps me.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, like when I'm gonna start coaching eventually too. I'm sure I'll feel like that as well, but like I'll still never lose like that. Like a world record is like, I think that's like the coolest fucking thing you can have. Like,
but then when you're shooting for those type of things, lifting is your job. Yeah. Yep. Like you need to be thinking lifting all the time. Yeah. And I know, just focusing on this stuff, that I don't put as much. Sometimes I won't eat because I'm busy doing some coaching or something like that. Yeah. And you can't do that if you want to be the best. No. You think it's a guy like Larry who gets fed meals. How you gonna keep up with that stuff? Yeah. So you gotta be on top of your game. So it's just gotta be that.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's gotta be that.
It's hard. It's definitely hard to balance. Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to balance everything. It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
I know all about that.
Actually, wanted to talk about, because you just had a kid. Yep. Girl, right? Little girl. Yep. Yeah, and that's got to be totally new.
Yeah, that was fun. So not this this past meet I did. The one before the last full power meet I did before this one in May was last August, late July or early August, I forget. The one in PA. That was like when my daughter was first born. So like that whole prep. So I was working 2 jobs. I worked 7 days a week that entire prep. So had a newborn, like working 7 days a week, still training for a meet, and then like still trying to like be in a relationship with and be present in my relationship and still be. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. It was a whole lot.
Tough.
It's gone. Like,
I know I'm always balancing stuff too, business and being at home with the lady, and I don't have a kid yet, but that's just juggling more. Yep.
That's a big part of it too. You forget. That's kind of like what happens is like you forget. You get so wrapped up in everything else, you forget to be present in your actual relationship. Yeah. And then that causes problems. Yeah. And then that that causes you a whole mess of shit too. So it's definitely tough.
Yeah, that whole balance act is a really, really tough thing.
Yeah.
Because, you have, like, you want to be there, and then you have to get this done, and then it's just kind of, it stresses you out.
Then you get stressed, you guys start arguing about some stupid shit that is completely pointless to even argue about.
Yeah, no, I know that. It's tough sometimes balancing all that, and I'm sure with the kid, like, I have no desire to really have a kid anytime soon right now, just because where I'm at, I don't think I could give it the focus that it deserves, like having, I want to be there all the time. So unless I'm in that position, like I'm even having a dog now, like that kind of stresses me out. And I'm like, shit, I got to walk it, I got to bring it back. Seems like a lot of work. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine having a kid. How's that change lifting at all? I want to talk about how's it, besides balancing act and stuff, is like motivate you more to like set something that she could be proud of. And
Yeah, that's
like motivate her to do something.
Absolutely. Yeah, that definitely it hasn't changed anything as far as like my mindset towards it, because like I still always find time. Like I'll find time anywhere, even if it's at like 3:00 in the morning to go lift. I'll find somewhere to get it done. But yeah, definitely adds in the factor of like like one day I want my daughter to grow up and like like be proud of like her dad, and see how strong he is, and oh my god, like my dad lifted 900 pounds. Like I think that's cool too. Obviously I would hope that she would get into powerlifting at some point. I'm not gonna like force it on her. Like if she likes it, she likes it. I kind of want her to like what me and my girl are trying to push her to do is sing. We want to try to have her be a singer.
It's a good route.
Yeah, so like like I said, if she wants to lift and she's into it, great, awesome. But I'm not gonna like push it on her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everyone says things change a lot when you have a kid. Like it's just a very different world. Like you got different. You just think a little bit differently and stuff.
You definitely think about everything differently. You calm down a lot. Like it definitely calms you down a whole lot, and you think a lot more before you make any kind of decision. Like especially like stupid decisions, like things that put yourself like in any kind of like risk or danger. Like I kind of tend to take a step back from like with stuff like that. Even like things like working a security job. Like I could go work a security job now, but like in the back of my head, like I think about like I'm only putting myself in like dangerous positions, and like I don't want to be
around and take care of her. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like I don't want to, So it's little things like that. It definitely changes your mindset about everything. You act and think and look at everything differently. It's all about the child at that point.
You don't really get that perspective until you have a kid, and then everything kind of changes on you.
You could say it, you could be like, oh no, it won't be like that, and then the second you have a kid, everything changes.
How has like sleep been? Because that's also what I would be most nervous of. Because I hear they don't go to bed, and then you're up, and man, I need like 20 hours of sleep.
So, there's a couple of things that go into that. So for one, when I was working 7 days a week and all that, I was sleeping 3-4 hours every night regardless. So like my body's kind of like used to that. I'm used to operating on nothing basically. But I'm very fortunate because number one, my daughter was really good to us when she was a newborn. She slept pretty much through every single night. Woke up maybe like once or twice briefly. She was very good to us with that. The second thing is my girl was also very good to me because she breastfeeds, and she knew I had to wake up early for work every day, 4 or 5 in the morning. So if the baby would wake up, she would just take care of her and breastfeed her and then put her back to bed and just let me sleep. So she was actually...
that's awesome.
Yeah, she was very good to me and helped me out with stuff like that. Yeah. So that I was very fortunate for that she she worked with me on all that.
And then how's it changed? Like, do you have to different times to go to the gym, or has that been kind of the same? Like,
so when she was first born, because like everything was like so like the schedules and everything were so out of whack. I was going to gym like some days I was going at like 5-6 in the morning. Some days I was going because I was working. I was managing the gym in Staten Island, so I had the key to the gym. So sometimes I'd finish work at 11 o'clock at night, and I'd go open up the gym after it's closed and just get a quick workout in, before I went home, went to bed. So like it was random, like all over the place. Now I'm more of on like a strict schedule now. Like usually I lift now around like noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But for that time period, it was really like all over the place completely. Some days I was training twice a week. Like it was crazy.
Just fit it in wherever you can.
Yeah, it was just any spare like hour and a half I had, I would just squeeze something in.
Imagine finding training partners kind of tough.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for you, focus on the deadlift so much, and you don't need training partners for that necessarily. Mm-hmm. But I imagine, doesn't your motivation kind of change? Is it harder to, if you're in the gym like 12 at night or something, or 5 in the morning? Like, how do you get amped up?
Especially after I just finished working 15 hours and I'm dead to begin with already. And like at the same time too, now like when you first have a child too, like you wanna just go home. You know, you wanna just go be with your baby. Like you don't want to do anything else. Like as soon as you're done with work, you just want to go home. So like at the same time, like, you know, like I want to go home to her, but yet like I'm committed to trying to compete and like work towards this. So it was a constant like struggle. Like there was even some days where I was just like, fuck the gym, and I just went home and like I just went and spent time with her. So like it's definitely like a big battle of like just getting your ass to the gym to begin with, and just taking time away from your family, you know, because at the end of the day, that's really what you're doing. It's kind of selfish in a way, because you're going to train so you can compete and like you can lift and do all this stuff, and you're taking time away from your family, you know. So it's definitely like definitely a little bit of a struggle.
It's also what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it also depends on who you're in a relationship and if they're supportive of you and they understand, like, you know, working together and stuff.
A lot of times they don't understand like what you're trying to do too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Thankfully enough, my girl isn't like that, and she, you know, she's fully supportive of what I'm doing, so I'm very lucky for that. But yeah, it definitely is tough.
That's important to have. And I'm very fortunate too. Like I'm working really hard. Like this you gotta understand now. This is like my living.
Yeah.
Just train, like coaching and stuff.
Yep. Training, coaching, talking about lifting.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like really awesome, because I'm finally like from cleaning bathrooms and stuff. I'm finally doing what I want to do, which I'm very, very grateful for. Then it's also nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Because you know, I can't. You know, I'm now doing my own stuff. You know, so I can't, you know, just lay there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have this freedom, but now you gotta like push yourself to keep doing stuff and keep pushing the envelope. And find ways to coach your lifters better and do all this stuff and always improve.
Try to promote yourself.
Yeah, it's tough to also lift at the same time and bring that kind of motivation and just all the stuff going on in your head and training partners. So what I found is I really have to. I almost had to take a step back, which is how much it was training. Because I remember too, when I was pushing squats and deadlifts, it was turning into 2-3 hour sessions, and people come lift with me, and it would be all day was just lifting, and I didn't have time to get done when I need to get done. So I know my training schedule had to change like big time.
Yeah.
Like now I have a Friday session where I know I'm going to usually have training partners around, and that's a day I'm really pushing it. The other days I almost prefer just to train alone, so I can just do it when I can, and just take care of that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too.
Push the pace, get it done.
I like training alone a lot of the time. It's only when I'm like 4 weeks, 5 weeks out, when I'm starting to take like 3 rep maxes, 5 rep maxes, you know, like heavy doubles and singles and stuff, is when I want to train with people. But other than that, I'm the same way. I like training alone a lot of the time. You get more in like your zone, and you just kind of like, there's no like bullshit. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, I feel like I need to do that sometimes, because a lot of times too, if you're doing speed work, for example, as well, like you need to push that pace.
Yeah.
And it's just nice sometimes to be able to get things done quick and you know, on your own schedule and whatnot.
That's kind of what happened with me too. Is having the baby is I went from having 2-3 hour training sessions. I had to cut them down a lot, like hour and a half, and that's it.
Or break it up.
Yeah.
Like Friday sessions here. I know I'm gonna have a group of people, which is awesome. I know you're gonna have people around. I miss that, because now I never really knew I'm going to have training partners on a squat day or something, you know what I mean, or enough people. But now on Fridays, I got a great bunch, comes by, trains. We always have rotating people, so there's always someone here now, which is awesome. And we just get the main lifted. So that'll be my shirt work or something. We're going heavy that day. And then I have to break it up, because, you know, after that, it's 10-something at night, you know, and we're ready to kick it by the fire and chill out for a bit before we go to bed. And then, so I try to break it up. Saturday, Sunday, I'll do my secondary stuff.
Okay.
So I had to break it up a lot like that. You can't have these marathon sessions. I mean, Friday's already a marathon session, but accessory work, you got to break that up a bit. You got to change some things around.
I kind of like doing that too, because the accessory work is so fast. You can get in the gym in like 45 minutes, get everything done, and be out. Yeah. And
it's different. With the main work, it takes up the whole workout.
Yeah.
So, like, when you know you're just going in to get accessories done, you know, it can be bang bang and you feel good, like and it's quicker too, so you're sweating.
You don't have to spend as much time warming up.
Yeah, there's no spotters, there's no setup.
Nothing.
Yeah, and you know, the mentality's a little bit different. You can kind of enjoy the workout instead of trying to amp yourself up for a huge lift every time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's different, which I really like. So we talked about, you know, how you had to change things around, having the daughter. How old is she now?
She's 8.5 months. She'll be 9 months, second week August.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's quick.
Yeah, they get old quick.
Yeah. It's
Shit.
really quick. Yep.
She like talking or walking yet?
She's
Walking the talk, talking the walk.
She's almost walking. She has a lot to say. I mean, she's not speaking like full sentences or anything like that, but she definitely like she has a lot to say. She's always saying something or yelling something. She's funny. She's got a big personality to her, so it's fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got big goals coming up.
Yep.
Got that 800-pound deadlift.
Yep.
So we're gonna see in November if you hit that. Maybe we can have it back on.
There's no ifs.
When he hits it,
when I hit it on
When
the
you
platform in November.
Should have known better. When you already basically hit it, you just got to do it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it before November. I should be
probably in
over.
training, huh?
I should be over 800 by November, but I want to hit that before I get there.
See, that's a good mindset too. It's like whatever's on the bar, I'm gonna freaking lift it. You don't think numbers. You don't get caught up in numbers.
No.
And I remember this past training cycle too. Is when I was truly like, just throw some shit on the bar. We're gonna take that shit for a ride.
Yep.
I did 800 one meet. I was just like, throw it on the bar. I think I need more weight to touch, and it just like collapsed on my belly. But that was the best thing I did all training cycle. I tell everyone, because holding 800 in your hands, like 700 feels like nothing after that.
Yep.
It's probably the best thing I did, even though I ate shit with it. But it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, just the fact that you're even holding 800 pounds over your face.
But the thing
ridiculous.
is, you're not afraid of it either. It's like, all right, throw it on the bar, F it. And then it's like everything else is easy. It's like, I'm not thinking, oh man, 7, so it's getting heavy. Nope. It's just like freaking throw it on. I'm gonna see what happens.
That's how I feel now. Like when I used to think of a 700-pound deadlift as like the almost unbelievable thing in the world.
Yeah.
Even like 600 pounds. Like the first day I hit 600 pounds, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Now like 600 pounds, I look at it like it's nothing.
You have to change your perspective.
Yeah. Exactly. Even 700 too. I'm not like 700 pounds is a warm up to me now. I don't think of it like that.
It's all just tension on the body.
Yep.
So
even like someone like I was like Eric Lillybridge. He like someone asked him one time like, oh, like what does it feel like to squat 1,000 pounds? And he was like, it feels exactly like 405 felt when I first hit 405 for the first time. Like it becomes like it's like nothing. Yeah. You don't look at it like that.
Yeah, and I think that's real important too. Everyone listening, the perspective and understanding what you're capable of more than you think.
Yeah.
And once you unlock the mind a little bit, then like you're talking like normally people make slow, steady progress at that pace. You're just like, I'm gonna freaking blow through 800. We're like talking about how you're gonna hit 800 at the meet if you're gonna hit it, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna be over 800.
Yeah, I will be.
But that's a good mindset to have.
Yep.
That's good.
I want to. My goal is to add every single time I compete. I want to add 50 to 100 pounds to my total every single time. Mm-hmm. So my last 2 meets, this past meet, I added 150 pounds to my total. The meet before I added 200. So that's my plan, is just to keep adding tons of weight to my total every time I compete.
Even if that doesn't happen, just trying to make it happen will get you in a good spot.
The way I look at it, if I set a goal to add 100 pounds to my total, so for example, this past meet, my goal was to add 200 to my total. I had a 1,700 total. My goal was to hit 1,900 to this meet. That was like no matter what. I ended up hitting 1,850, so I didn't hit 200 pounds, but I still added 150 to my total. So I'm not even remotely mad about it. I'm still really happy because I added 150 pounds in one meet. But
that's awesome.
I set high goals, and if I get something out of it, it's still a huge win for me.
Yeah. That's the important thing. Set your goals high, and you'll be really close in the end if not hit it. So
like I'm not looking at it like, oh my god, I didn't hit 200 pounds on my total. Like, oh fuck, it was a big weight. It's like, no, I'm excited as shit because I still added so much.
50, shit ton.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we're gonna start wrapping it up. If you were to give one piece of advice today, out of the things we were talking about, like what has helped you probably most in your training, any type of mentality or aspect or whatever you want to leave one little part in advice for everyone out there.
So two biggest things, honestly, is just one, just humbling yourself and just not getting out of control and learning when enough is enough, and if you get any kind of injury, to stop and just not try to push the envelope.
Being smart
and
longevity.
Yeah, and not thinking in the moment and thinking long term. And number two, just surrounding yourself with people who have the same kind of attitude as you and who have the same kind of goals and who have the same kind of positive mentality that you do. I feel like that's a big part of everything. You gotta put yourself around if you're gonna powerlift, you gotta put yourself around other powerlifters who are working towards the same shit that you're working towards.
Yeah,
so I feel like that's a big part.
Yeah, and I've never been more motivated myself now than I am when I'm around. Like I'm seeing most of the same guys at meets, and it motivates the shit out of you.
Yeah,
You see a lot of the same dudes.
Yeah, I met a ton of people from the RPS meets I've done. I've met so many guys that I became friends with, who I talked to through Instagram and stuff, that are all cool ass dudes, and we always talk, message each other, and like hype each other up, and it's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, you gotta have that community feel, because you got what you're doing, like, is pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even now in like my Staten Island gym, like there's a crew of us now, like a bunch of powerlifters, like we all kind of like found each other, like me, Laurel, and like a bunch of other people. Yeah. We all like kind of found each other, and now it's like maybe about like 8 or so, like 10 of us in the gym who powerlift, and it's fucking awesome. Like, we all come in, we're the only powerlifters in the gym, like, we have a great time, like it's fun.
You gotta feel like what you're doing too is important, or else it's like, why the hell you doing it? And
exactly.
You're doing like crazy bullshit and putting your body through all that, so
yeah,
you gotta feel like what you're doing means something.
Yep.
If there was no community around it, or who gives a shit?
Yeah,
that's
true.
Crazy dude lifting some crazy weight.
Yeah, you're just an asshole trying to kill himself.
Yeah, so you gotta just put it in perspective. So having like those people around and stuff makes it worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you only get if people don't value it, then no one gives a shit. It's like Major League Lacrosse. no one gives enough shit to make it worth something.
Yeah, that's true.
NFL, that's big time.
Yeah.
Major League Lacrosse, no difference. Still good sport. No one gives a shit.
Yep.
Nothing against lacrosse guys, but I feel bad because no one gives a shit, and then they get $1,000.
Yeah.
In NFL, you make $1 million.
Yep.
So
you could sit on the sideline for an entire season and make millions of dollars.
I mean,
never see playtime ever.
Yeah. I mean, granted, powerlifting making like $0.
Yeah, you're actually spending way more than you'll ever make.
Yeah,
but.
So that really sucks for us.
But at the end of the day, you can still deadlift 700 pounds, so it's all fucking worth it.
So you're better than all those NFL guys.
Yeah, I bet you I can outlift most of them.
All right. So we appreciate having you on, Wheelz.
Thank you. I appreciate being on.
Where can we find you on the social?
On the social, I am just on Instagram currently, and it's Nick Wheelz with a Z.
Oh, you want to Nick Wheelz? You want to spell that out so there's no confusion?
So it's NICKWHEELZ.
EELZ.
Yep.
Nick Wheelz.
The strongest in Staten Island.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless someone else wants to come take that crown. All right. So you can find him on Instagram at Nick Wheelz. You know where to find Elvis at Small Arm Leg Strong. And he's been doing the Twitter thing. I don't think he posted anything on Twitter.
I posted like 2 things.
Twitter game's
step it up.
Oh, okay. My Twitter game's been a little weak lately too. We just added that. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's what, big tiny quad, something like
big
that.
Big quad, tiny arm.
Oh my god.
He just switched everything.
Twitter's a weird place.
So you know where to find all our shit. You listen to the Benchcast. Please give the 5-star review. It means a lot to us to review the podcast. It really helps. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram at Big Benchas, and also on the YouTube, which I urge you to subscribe to. We had the video of each Benchcast, putting up a lot of good stuff lately on that. We're going to have some more content with Wheelz coming up that we're going to film that you're not going to want to miss. We're talking some real good shit on the bench. All right. All right, everyone. You are listening to the Benchcast.